Hey guys, Chris Captures back on the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, because today we are going to be talking about my top 10 most anticipated manga of 2022. So like I said, this video is going to be me running down my top 10 most anticipated manga of 2022. And I want to preface it before I start the list of saying these are series that are getting print copies in English this year. Some of them have been released digitally in the past and stuff like that. I am more of a physical reader. I like to own physical copies and read stuff like that. So these are things that have been announced to be coming this year and stuff that I'm really excited for. Also things that I've only really just found out about, which are coming out this year, so I'm really excited about those. There might be a couple things that you guys might disagree with in terms of, is this like a new release? But we are in February already. I'm kind of late doing this, but also more things have been announced, so that's helped me make the list. So who can really say this is my list, this is what I'm going with? So hey, let me know down in the comments down below what is on your top 10 list to read this year. New series anyway. Also let me know like old series that you want to get into this year, because that's a completely different video if you want me to do that. Let me know if you want to talk about that as well, and we can do. So let's just jump straight into the list. So in the number 10 position, I have got A Galaxy Next Door. This has been released by Kodansha on April 26th. This is apparently a seinen manga, and it's something that I've only really recently heard about, but it sounds kind of interesting. I was really into Bakuman, so I'm hoping this can follow a similar line, but obviously take its own trip into maybe a bit more of the romance, which I know Bakuman has, but in its own sort of way. It was kind of filler to fill in number 10. Also, it sounded really interesting to me when I was writing this list, so it's here for now. Basically, I'll give you the synopsis now, and I got my notes just down here, that's why I'm not looking at the camera. Synopsis. Since his parents died, manga artist Ichiro has barely scraped by, forced to support his two younger siblings on just a middle school education. He doesn't even have time to learn how to use a computer, which forces him to keep wrestling with pen and paper. When his art assistants quit to strike out on their own, on top of juggling deadlines, family, and consistent fear of losing his job, Ichiro is close to total breakdown. But then a new assistant pops up into Ichiro's life, and his prospects immediately start to brighten. She's an incredible artist. She always finishes on time, and she's beautiful to boot. But she also seems to know an awful lot about him, and soon she makes a confession that bends Ichiro's mind beyond the confines of Earth. It sounds like Bakuman meets telepathic, maybe aliens, because the name Galaxy is out there. I don't know. It seems like maybe a nice romance manga coming of age story with a little bit of drama in there. I'm not too sure, but it sounds really interesting to me, so I had to put this at number 10 at the moment. Okay, so in the number 9 position, we have Ghost Reaper Girl. Ghost Reaper Girl is released on June 7th. This is a Shonen Jump Plus title. Written and illustrated by Akisha Sake. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I'm so bad at pronouncing these names, I'm so sorry. Let me give you a brief synopsis of what this is about as well. Okay, so this is being published by Viz Media, not a surprise with it being a Shonen Jump title. Ghost Reaper Girl is the latest manga from Akisha Akida, mangaka of Rosario plus Vampire. I've never read that, but I know it's a very, very popular series. The story follows Chloe, who trades her dream of taking over the acting world with taking down evil spirits. The artwork is really what grabbed me. It's got very much like modern Solia vibes mixed with that touch of shoujo. Everyone's very gorgeous looking. The colours really pop. Like I said, it's giving me sort of Solia vibes with the design and the title font and everything like that. When June comes around, I will be sure to try and pick this up. In the number 8 position, speaking of Chainsaw Man, is Look Back. This is from Tatsuki Fujimoto, who obviously created Chainsaw Man. This was a one-shot that he did between Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man. It follows a young girl who is an incredible artist that loves to draw 4-panel comics in her school's newspaper. She is asked by her teacher to hand over her work to a fellow student named Komoto. But when her manga is printed alongside Komoto's, which is praised for its detailed art, Jujino becomes jealous. Frustrated by this, Jujino dedicates herself more to her work in order to beat Kimoto. As time goes by, her goals slip further and further away, so she gives up on making manga. When graduation rolls around, though, the two have a chance encounter that changes everything. By the creator of Chainsaw Man and Fire Punch, I'm absolutely in love with Chainsaw Man at the moment. I've heard amazing things about this. It's sort of exploring sort of like getting into creative fields and the difficulty that can come around that sort of imposter syndrome when you see lots of other people who are doing that better than you, and whether you feel good enough to carry on doing it even though you do have a talent. It's stuff that I feel like I can connect with, and it's only a one shot, so what have you really got to lose by picking this up? This is due to come out in fall 2022. We're not entirely sure on an exact date, but pre-orders are up already. I'll be sure to get on them. Okay, so another series from Viz Media next in the number 7 position. It is Rooster Fighter. Rooster Fighter comes out on August 16th. So this is a web manga series which is slowly getting pushed out by Viz Media in Japan. They currently have 2 volumes available. It just seems like a super fun series. In Rooster Fighter, giant demonic monsters wreak havoc and level Japanese cities. While the citizens flee in terror, there is one brave rooster to stand his ground. It's kaiju. It's a chicken. He's fighting monsters. I don't need to say any more than that. It's only got 2 volumes out at the moment, so we'll see where it goes. It seems like a fun checkout. Taking the number 6 position is Alice in Borderland. This is a series that has recently been adapted into a hit Netflix series. I have not checked it out yet, but it sounds so much like something that I'm going to be into. I'm torn whether to watch the series or whether to just wait for the manga to come around. This has been created by Haro Aso. I think that's how you pronounce it, but they created Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead, which is a super fun series that I'm all about. I already know that I like this creator's work. I've also heard of some of the other stuff like Hiding Closer. I just have really high hopes. It was good enough that before even it came over to the West, it's already had a Netflix adaptation. Who knows? Like, the series was really well spoken of, so I'm interested in it as well. So I believe they are being released in 2-in-1s in English. I could be mistaken, but it says that the first 2 volumes of the Japanese run release on the same day in English, so I'm assuming they are going to be 2-in-1s. That is March 15th, 2022. Let me give you a brief description. 18-year-old Ryohei Arisu is sick of his life. School sucks. His love life is a joke, and his future weighs on him like impending doom. As he struggles to exist in a world that can't be bothered with him, Ryohei feels like everything would be better if he was somewhere else. When a strange fireworks show transports him and his friends to a parallel world, Ryohei thinks all his wishes have come true. But this new world isn't an empty paradise, it's a vicious game, and the only way to survive is to play. The first game starts with a bang, as Ryohei manages to beat the clock and save his friends. It's a short-lived victory, however, as they discover that winning only earns them a visa worth a few days grace period. If they want to get home, they will have to start playing a lot harder. I believe there's maybe creatures in this, maybe? He's basically transported to a parallel version of our world where things are twisted and you need to fight to survive, which just sounds really cool. It's got such a big following already that I don't see why I wouldn't enjoy this. Also, like I said, I really enjoy the creator's other works, so I'm all in for it. Okay, so just before we get into the number 5 position, I would like to put in an honourable mention. I'm putting this in as an honourable mention because it is an older series. It's not a brand new series or anything like that, but it's finally getting officially translated into English and printed in English. I think there's been web versions of it in the past, but Thus Spoke Rohan Kishibe Side Stories for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 is finally coming out in English in a print copy. It's available to pre-order now. It comes out fall 2022. Best believe I'm getting that. Rohan Kishibe, so cool. I liked the animated adaptation of this as well. I've seen a bit of the live action version, which I still kind of enjoyed, not as much as the original source material. I'm just really excited to get this. Okay, so into the top 5 now. Starting in the number 5 position, we have Ayashimon. I believe that's how we're pronouncing it. That's how it seems like it should be pronounced. Again, sorry, I should have just gone with the easier ones to say. This is being published by Viz Media. It's currently in Shonen Jump. It's only been airing since November of last year, so it's quite new to be so high on lots of people's lists, and also already saying that it's going to be coming in English as well. It's happened super quickly, but there is warrant behind this. This is being written by Yuji Kaku, who was one of the assistants to Tatsuki Fujimoto on Fire Punch. Also, he's just finished Hell's Paradise as well, so he went straight from Hell's Paradise onto Ayashimon, and he's got a proven track record now. Fire Punch, Hell's Paradise has been really well received. Hell's Paradise is getting its anime adaptation as well at some point. Maybe this year, maybe next year. Obviously, there's a lot of hype behind this, so it's coming out. Proven track record, sounds like something that I'm into, so I'm definitely going to pick this up. Let me give you guys a brief description and see if you guys want to pick it up as well. Maru Kaido is an unusually strong boy and an avid manga fan who dreams of being a manga hero. Repeating the special training that appears in manga that he's read since an early age, Maruo became able to break rocks at the age of 7. One day he meets Urara, an Oni Yashimon, chased by an Ashimon Yakuza gang. After Maruo easily defeats the gang, Urara, impressed by his strength and by the fact that he is a simple human and not Ayashimon, recruits him to be the first member of her Yakuza group. Maru, hesitant at first, accepts her offer, realizing that he can experience life as a manga protagonist following the path of a Yakuza. It's kind of following in sort of like the world of Jujutsu Kaisen if it was mixed with Yakuza and mob bosses and stuff like that. So there's organized crime full of demons and monsters, and this guy is a simple human who is just going to punch his way through the entire thing. And it just seems like fun peak shonen, you know what I mean? It just seems like a whole bunch of fun. I do want to check out Hell's Paradise this year as well, but it's not a new print for 2022, so I didn't put it on this list. It's had 13 chapters maybe released in Japanese. They are about to print their first volume. Taking the number 4 position is Sakamoto Days, and I'm sure you have all heard so much about this already. This is releasing on April 5th, and boy doggy, am I excited. Okay, so this is currently releasing in the Weekly Shonen Jump app. It started releasing in November of 2020 and it's still going strong. It's 5 volumes currently released in Japan, and we are about to get our first volume in print form in the UK. It's already available to read digitally if you want to read it digitally, but let me give you a brief description. Taro Sakamoto used to be an unrivaled hitman, earning legendary status in the underworld, but one day the unthinkable happened. Sakamoto fell in love. He started dating, retired, got married, had a kid. Though now working as a humble convenience store owner, the world of hitmen still follows him. Sakamoto, along with Shin, an expert and employee of his small store, will protect his humble life and family or die trying. This is a comedy action shonen series, I guess you would call it. It's in Shonen Jump, so basically it's an old retired hitman who just wants to be a quiet guy working in a convenience store, and assassins keep trying to come and mess with his life. It sounds like Kim's Convenience meets John Wick, and if that doesn't get you involved, I don't know what will. I've recently just watched all of Kim's Convenience. Really funny show. I'm just imagining Mr. Kim with 2 Glocks in his hands fighting all the villains from John Wick. And why would you not want to read that? It sounds so fun. Like, this has been described as one of the best comedy action shonen of the last God knows how many years. Everybody's been going crazy for it, reading it digitally. It's finally getting a UK print release on April 5th. So it's right around the corner now, less than 2 months away. This is going to be flying off the shelves. Okay, we are into the big leagues now, top 3. And in the number 3 position, we have Dandadan. This has only just been announced as of the time of recording this. Written and illustrated by Yukinobu Tatsu, who, again, following the theme for today, he was an assistant to Fujimoto on Fire Punch and Chainsaw Man, and then went on to assist Kaku on Hell's Paradise. So this guy has been involved in loads of the top series lately. The fact that he was an assistant on Chainsaw Man gets me so excited. Like, this guy's proven track record. He knows like what people want from tasty shonen at the moment. He's been learning at the hands of the masters. Ooh. Momo Ayase is a high school girl who believes in ghosts but not aliens, while her classmate, Okarun, believes in aliens but not ghosts. In a bet to determine who's correct, the two decide to separately visit locations associated with both the occult and the supernatural. When the two reach their respective places, it turns out that neither of them were wrong and both aliens and ghosts do exist. Thus begins their wild journey as they attempt to navigate the supernatural and sci-fi worlds they've stumbled into and work together to return their lives back to normal. You get the Jujutsu Kaisen Chainsaw Man aspect of having the occult in there, and then you've also just got aliens. Shonenness will ensue, I guess. Viz Media is putting this out again. It's such a popular series at the moment. The first issue will be releasing sometime in fall 2022. Super excited for this. Middle of September seems like so far away at the moment, but the way that manga is coming out, it's going to go by in a blink of an eye. It sounds super fun, super exciting. You've got aliens, and if there isn't a scene where they're both getting chased, one not by aliens, one not by monsters and the occult and ghosts and stuff, and then those aliens or ghosts don't start attacking, or maybe they're the same thing. Maybe what we think are aliens are actually just ghosts, maybe, or maybe an alien will down Earth and its soul gets trapped and then it becomes a ghost that they need to fight against, and so it's an alien ghost or a ghost alien. Man, the possibilities are endless for this, and the artwork looks simply chef's kiss. On to number 2. Okay, so because it's near enough the end of February now, I am late making this video. But a brand new series has started airing in English in 2022, and it will continue to be released in 2022. Its first volume came out in 2022, so it's still eligible for this list in my eyes, but even though it's already out, it was still much anticipated, like 2 weeks ago before it came out, and that is Kaiju number 8. Such a good series. In Japan, monsters known as kaiju regularly attack the populace, with the Japanese defense force tasked with killing them. After their town was destroyed by kaiju when they were childhood friends, Kafka and Mina both vowed to become members of the defense force. Mina has become famous as commander of the defense force's 3rd unit, but Kafka has failed the examinations numerous times and is a member of the cleanup crew, Monster Sweeper Inc., whose job it is to dispose the monster's dead bodies after battle. After a small talking monster flies into his body via his mouth, Kafka gains the ability to turn into a monster himself, who is dubbed Kaiju number 8 by the Defense Force. Kafka remains fully in control while in this form. He gains superhuman strength and becomes the first monster to escape the Defense Force. And that is basically where the first arc kind of ends, is him, after escaping from the Defense Force, he then goes into taking the examination to join the task force again. And it's whether he will be strong enough now with the powers of the kaiju to join the Defense Force, and then if he can, what will happen when they find out his secret, or will they find out his secret and bring him on board. Volume 1 let off a really tasty point, and I'm really sad that we need to wait for Volume 2, but that is around the corner. The first volume is already out, and April 5th is when it will get Volume 2 launched. I cannot wait. There's 5 volumes available at the moment in Japanese. Volume 2 is coming out in April, and I'm hoping we will get steady releases after that. So we've got, January, February, March, April. Every 4 months, hopefully we'll get a volume, and we'll start to catch up with that Japanese release. I've got Volume 1 here. I read this as soon as it came in. It's such a good series. The kaijus look incredible. The gore and everything is just chef's kiss. The character design on point. Also the covers. Like, I've seen what the Japanese versions of the covers look like going forward, and they are just as punchy, just as vibrant. They're going to look great in your collection. So that is the only series right now that I can 100% say with my own true opinion is 100% worth you picking up. I would absolutely say get on it now before it goes out of stock for God knows how long, because this feels like it's going to be one of the next mega popular series. And finally, taking that numero uno position is something that made me want to make this list. It's something that I've binged all of season 1 of the anime of, and it was chef's kiss, but we don't know when season 2 is going to be coming around, so I want to start reading ahead in the manga. It's something that I can't believe we haven't had a physical release for yet. It's been available digitally for quite a while, I believe by Kodansha, but they are not the ones publishing this. If you haven't guessed by now, it's Tokyo Revengers. I loved season 1 of the anime. It was so good seeing this guy try his best to just save everybody in his life from the gang warfare, seeing his childhood and like this rising gang of delinquents just slugging it out, and their familial connections and their bonds and everything. And everything was just full of heart. Every punch had meaning behind it, you know what I mean? Like, also just having a time travel narrative that kind of understands its own bullshit and is like, if you change too much, things still aren't going to go right. Also, it's kind of like there seems to be certain fixed events which no matter how much we try and change them, it's not changing the future, but he's managing to change the past for better or for worse depending on what's happening. Okay, so these are being released, I believe, in 2-in-1 omnibus editions. The first one comes out May 3rd. 7 Seas Entertainment actually will be releasing the first omnibus edition, and like I said, Kodansha has already released this digitally. I believe almost the entire run of what has been released so far has been translated. It's been airing since 2017. There's 25 volumes. There are only 3 volumes behind with the digital releases. Obviously, the physical releases aren't out yet. Okay, so here's the synopsis of Tokyo Revengers if you're somehow avoided the massive hit that is the anime, and it's also had a live action adaptation already as well. Let me give you a rundown. Tokyo Revengers follows Hanagaki Takemichi. After biting off more than he could chew with a gang in middle school, he ran away from his old life. Now that he's an adult, the gang that once terrorized him has grown into the largest gang in Tokyo, and they've started killing people, including his old girlfriend. After learning the news, a mysterious force on a train platform shoves Takemichi right in front of an approaching train. As his life flashed before his eyes, he blinks to find himself transported back to middle school before he fled from the gang. Now he has the chance to right what went wrong all those years ago. Can he save his girlfriend's life in the future? What else might change if rewriting the past? So there you have it. That's a brief synopsis of what it is. It's so multi-layered and everything, and there's such a huge cast of characters. There's going to be at least a few that you were going to latch onto and really enjoy. Also, the reveals in it work really well, like finding out about people's past and why they are in the positions they're in and in the gangs, and just the threat level that is building, especially at the end of season 1. Season 1 takes us through, I think, 3 main arcs. I don't know how long the other arcs are after this going forward, but I believe the manga is entering its final arc now. I don't know how many seasons of the anime it's going to get. I believe it's probably going to hit maybe around 30 volumes in total, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me on that. Like I said, 7 Seas are releasing these in 2-in-1 oversized omnibus editions. Cannot wait to get my hand on it. I don't want to read it digitally. That's just, I will read stuff digitally, but I prefer to have the physical copies, and this is a series that I already know I really like, so I want to collect it. There you have it. There is my top 10 manga releasing in 2022 in English. Let me know what is on your list. Let me know which of these you're going to pick up, which of these I might have inspired you to pick up. Whatever it is, just tell me that you're excited. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for all the support on the channel lately, but I already know most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you could, please hit that subscribe button. Keep growing the community. Keep growing the channel. Keep commenting, please. I love it so much when you comment and give me your recommendations and let me know what you're reading as well. Get active in the comments, get active in the Discord, which is linked below, and we can just help each other have such a good time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. I've got a video reacting to all of Attack on Titan. That video is coming soon as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.